You know,
Not about to let my little bro the money out.
I know that.
I love him. And
I know that.
Keep them spared. Cause they gonna give him like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole plan.
He not about to let my little bro touch that money, I know that. I love him, but the plan was simple. Keep us coming back while they throw him small checks, 200, 300,000 at a time. Those words hit different now, because NBA YoungBoy has finally exposed what he says was a quiet, calculated setup run by Birdman behind scenes. For years, Birdman played the role of mentor and father figure, but according to YoungBoy, that image had a money-driven scheme that left him controlled, underpaid, and manipulated. What followed became one of the most heartbreaking revelations in modern hip-hop. This isn't just another rap beef or internet rumor, it's a story about broken trust, industry politics, and a young artist realizing the game was rigged from the start. The conversation exploded after YoungBoy released Tales of War, an emotional 6-minute confession dropped on June 9th, 2024, while he was under house arrest in Utah fighting federal charges. The track wasn't about clout or dissent, it was about pain, betrayal, and finally telling the truth. And if this sounds familiar, that's because Birdman has been accused of running the same playbook before, with Lil Wayne being the most infamous example. Back in 2018, YoungBoy was one of the hottest artists in the game, dominating streams and headlines, but drowning in legal trouble. Atlantic Records saw massive talent, but also a risk setting the stage for Birdman to step in and promise protection, guidance, and loyalty, a move that YoungBoy now says came at a heavy price. That's when Birdman swooped in like a guardian angel. In the music industry, when a legend like Birdman's architect behind Cash Money Records and a billion-dollar empire takes interest in you, it's supposed to be a blessing. But YoungBoy's situation was different. Birdman wasn't just offering a business deal, he was selling a dream, family, mentorship, and unconditional loyalty. The pitch was flawless. He'd turned Lil Wayne from a kid in the projects into one of the greatest rappers of all time. He'd helped Drake become a global superstar. He'd crowned Nicki Minaj as a queen of rap. So when Birdman told YoungBoy, "You're going to be the biggest thing in hip-hop," it didn't sound like hype, it sounded like destiny. For a young artist from Baton Rouge who had already survived shootings, loss, and non-stop chaos, that promise meant everything. YoungBoy was navigating fame without real guidance, carrying trauma most people never escaped. When Birdman stepped in as a father figure, offering protection and wisdom, YoungBoy trusted him completely. Their first collaboration, We Popping, showed undeniable chemistry, and when they announced their joint project from a bayou in 2018, it felt symbolic, the OG passing the torch to the next generation of Louisiana greatness. Birdman publicly defended YoungBoy at every tone, calling him the future of rap and claiming he'd help him survive the industry's darkest corners. But behind all the family talk and public praise, something wasn't adding up. And here's where the story takes a darker turn, because Lil Wayne had already seen this movie before, and he was quietly trying to warn YoungBoy that on his 2020 track Multiple Flows, Lil Wayne slipped in a line that should have set off alarms. And I had told YoungBoy to watch out for Old Head. That wasn't a throwaway bar. That was Survivor speaking from experiencia, real one trying to stop another young artist from falling into the same trap that nearly destroyed his own career. To understand why that warning mattered, you have to look at Wayne and Birdman's history. Their relationship followed the exact same blueprint. It started with love, mentorship, and big promises of building an empire together. Wayne called Birdman his father. They got matching tattoos. Birdman even embraced Wayne's children as his own grandchildren. But when it was time for Wayne to receive what he was owed, everything fell apart. Wayne ultimately sued Birdman and Cash Money Records for $51 million in unpaid royalties, exposing years of withheld payments, delayed albums, and broken promises. The man he trusted like family was suddenly accused of keeping control through emotional manipulation, while millions meant for the artist quietly disappeared. And this isn't just about one rapper's experience, it points to a larger pattern. A system designed to exploit young talent. According to critics, Birdman's playbook is simple but ruthless. Find gifted artists while they are hungry and vulnerable. Offer them family and guidance instead of just contracts. Build deep emotional loyalty, then use that bond to maintain control while the financial side of the deal stays deliberately unclear. The streets have been whispering about this pattern for years, but most people didn't want to hear it because Birdman's success stories were just too loud to ignore. Yeah, he helped create superstars, but the real question is, at what cost and who actually benefited the most? When From the Bayou finally dropped in December 2021 after multiple delays, something immediately felt off to real fans. The project sounded more like a straight NBA YoungBoy album with Birdman's name stamped on it than a true collaboration. Birdman's actual presence was minimal, yet his name stayed on the credits, which meant he was still collecting checks off YoungBoy's work. And this is where things get even more telling. According to industry insiders, Birdman essentially acquired YoungBoy from Atlantic Records for nothing. At the time, YoungBoy was facing serious federal charges, and Atlantic believed his career was finished. Rather than fight for him, they cut their losses. Birdman saw opportunity where others saw risk. In a conversation with DJ Academics, Birdman openly bragged that he would have paid anywhere from $10 to $20 million for YoungBoy, but Atlantic didn't want the headache. They just handed him over. They was tired of him, Birdman said, calling it cold-blooded business. And once you really sit with that, the entire situation started to look a lot different.
Not about to let my little bro the money out.
I know that.
I love him. And
I know that.
Keep him spared. Cause they gonna give him like 200, 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole plan.
While Birdman was telling YoungBoy he loved him like a son, he was celebrating the fact that he got him for free like he'd just caught a steal at a clearance sale. Real talk, that's not how you speak about family. That's how you talk about business. And that's when it became clear what YoungBoy really was to Birdman. Not a son, but a high-value asset. As 2022 and 2023 rolled on, the illusion started to crack. The promises that once sounded so convincing began to feel empty. The father figure energy that pulled YoungBoy in started to look more like control and manipulation. And the unconditional support he believed in revealed itself to have very real conditions attached. For those who understand the culture, this kind of betrayal cuts deeper than any street beef. This wasn't about money, clout, or territory. It was about trust, loyalty, and family. YoungBoy had opened himself up to someone he truly believed cared about him, only to realize he was just another piece on Birdman's chessboard. By April 2024, YoungBoy had hit his breaking point. Federal agents raided his Utah home. Serious charges were looming, and the one person who was supposed to stand beside him was nowhere to be found when it mattered most. That's when he recorded Tears of War, the final track he made before his arrest. What shook people the most wasn't just what he said, it was how he said it. There were no threats, no tough guy bars, no industry posturing. Just raw emotion, disappointment, and heartbreak. When YoungBoy rapped that Stunner never really loved him and admitted he should have listened to Carter, Lil Wayne, you could hear the pain in his voice. That line hit hard because it marked the moment YoungBoy finally accepted the truth. He'd been outplayed by a veteran who'd been running the same game for decades, though he openly admitted that Wayne had tried to warn him, but he'd been too caught up in the promises and potential to really listen. In the streets, admitting you were wrong takes real courage, especially in a culture where showing weakness can get you labeled as soft. YoungBoy's willingness to put his emotions on display and acknowledge that he'd been played showed genuine vulnerability. The track exposed how Birdman allegedly dangled big deals in front of YoungBoy without ever following through. It revealed a veteran inserting himself into YoungBoy's personal life, overstepping boundaries, and using emotional manipulation to maintain control. It painted a clear picture of someone exploiting a younger artist, following the same pattern Wayne had experienced years before. Then there's Birdman's response, or rather, his silence. Unlike most rap beefs that explode with aggression, he stayed quiet. That quiet alone spoke volumes. Either the accusations hit too close to home, or he knew engaging would only make things worse. But this isn't just about YoungBoy and Birdman. It's a reflection of a larger issue in the music industry. Young artists, especially those from tough backgrounds, are vulnerable to manipulation by veterans who know exactly what to say and how to position themselves. The playbook is always the same. Find artists when they're young, hungry, and eager. Offer them something they desperately need: money, guidance, or emotional support. Earn their trust completely, and then exploit it then. Use that trust to control the narrative while the financial arrangements benefit you far more than the artist. For anyone not keeping up with industry politics, this kind of exploitation is more common than you might think. The music business has always preyed on artists who don't fully understand the game. The difference now? Social media and platforms like YouTube give artists a direct line to their fans, allowing them to expose what's really happening behind the scenes. YoungBoy calling out Birdman publicly was a wake-up call for every young artist in a similar position. It highlighted the importance of having real ones around you, people who can spot when someone is running game on you, even when you're too close to see it yourself. But here's the question: how many others has Birdman done this to? We know about Wayne. We know about YoungBoy, but how many haven't spoken up? How many young talents have been chewed up and spat out before they could even reach their potential? At the core, YoungBoy's situation isn't just one bad business relationship. It's about power, loyalty, consequences, and the price young artists pay when they trust the wrong people. It's about an industry that hides behind words like mentorship and family while quietly exploiting vulnerable talent. Now here's a twist nobody expected. By August 2025, YoungBoy and Birdman had reconciled. They squashed the beef, and Birdman even joined YoungBoy on his Make America Slime Again tour. Some saw it as a redemption story. Others saw YoungBoy being pulled back into the same cycle that once hurt him. The big question, did Birdman really change, or did he just smooth talk his way back in? Is this a genuine second chance, or is history about to repeat itself? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Tears of War exposed a pattern of behavior that goes far beyond one relationship. It shined a light on how the industry exploits young artists and manipulates trust. Whether the reconciliation works or not, that truth is out to can't be taken back. What happens next? Will other artists speak up about their experiences? Will the industry finally hold powerful figures accountable, or will this just become another cautionary tale, forgotten until the next artist gets played? What do you think about YoungBoy's situation and Birdman's pattern? Was the reconciliation real, or is YoungBoy setting himself up for more heartbreak? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you're subscribed, because we're going to keep bringing you the real stories behind the headlines. The culture needs the truth, and we're not stopping. Stay solid, fam. And remember, not everyone who calls you family has your best interests at heart. Sometimes, the ones closest to you are the ones playing you hardest. That's the real lesson here. Peace.